This year's Easter message from King Charles III is at once a meditation on the condition of humanity and a call to a higher moral vision. And delivered by the King as he resumes his ceremonial duties despite his personal health challenges. The message is both intimate and universal. It intertwines Christian theology with interfaith harmony, blending royal tradition with the contemporary resonance of global suffering and service. At the heart of the King's message lies a striking reflection on what he calls the paradox of human life, our dual capacity for great cruelty and great kindness. And this isn't merely rhetorical, it's an acknowledgement of the jagged emotional terrain on which most people stand. And from war zones to humanitarian corridors, we oscillate between inflicting harm and embodying hope. And this paradox, as the King notes, is woven through the Easter story itself, a drama in which betrayal and resurrection, violence and grace coexist. Jesus knelt to wash the feet of his disciples, an act of humility, performed even as he knew some would abandon him. In this complexity, this choreography of love in the face of frailty is something that the King acknowledges and brings to the foreground. Drawing directly from the Gospel of John and Paul's first letter to the Corinthians, the King reminds us of three abiding virtues: faith, hope, and love, or charity, and the greatest of these is love. And his interpretation is not merely doctrinal, it's existential. Love, he implies, is the antidote to human cruelty. It's a force that redeems suffering and sanctifies sacrifice. The King's choice to emphasize Maundy Thursday, the day Christ washed the feet of the others, reinforces his consistent prioritization of service over grandeur, and the act of distributing the Maundy money to 76 men and 76 women corresponding to his age is more than symbolic. It's the public affirmation of his coronation oath, not to be served but to serve, grounded in the Christian ethic of humility. In a particularly resonant passage, King Charles praises the values of Islam and Judaism. He writes, "The love he showed when he walked upon the earth reflected the Jewish ethic of caring for the stranger and for those in need, chesed, a deep human instinct echoed in Islam and other religious traditions." It's a significant moment. As the Supreme Governor of the Church of England, Charles could have offered a solely Christian message. Instead, he chooses the language of universal compassion. His Easter reflection becomes an interfaith document, drawing a moral circle wide enough to encompass synagogue, mosque, temple and chapel alike. It's worth recalling that this is the same monarch who who supported the first iftar held at Windsor Castle, and who has persistently emphasized religious cohesion in a fractured world. In evoking these traditions at Easter, he frames the holy day not as exclusive to Christians, but as a call to all who seek the good of others. And of course, Judaism is at the moment in the middle of the Passover festival. The King also reflects on his recent meeting with humanitarian workers at Buckingham Palace, individuals who, in his words, risk their own lives to protect the lives of others. And by referencing these modern-day Good Samaritans, he binds ancient scriptures to contemporary suffering, from the deserts of Somalia to the refugee corridors of Gaza and Ukraine. And there's something deeply scriptural in this approach. These are the least of these, from Matthew's Gospel, the strangers, the afflicted, the outcasts. And in affirming them, Charles draws the monarchy closer to a moral centre it has sometimes appeared distant from. And his concluding message, God so loved the world that he sent his Son to live among us, to lay down his own life for others, in a love that proves stronger than death, is both an Easter affirmation and a personal testament. In a year shadowed by his own cancer diagnosis, by the fragmentation of his own family, this message has weight. It's not theoretical love, it's lived and costed. Charles doesn't shy away from pain, but insists on the power of redemption. And that ultimately is the heartbeat of Easter, not the denial of death, but the declaration that love is greater than it. The Easter message is no mere ceremonial footnote. It's an attempt, sincere, ecumenical and profound, to reconcile our fractured human instincts with a higher calling. And in the absence of the Archbishop of Canterbury, and in praising love that knows no bounds or boundaries, Charles invites us not only to believe in virtue, but to practice it through service, kindness, and care for the stranger. Whether you are devout, doubting, or somewhere in between, one cannot help but be moved by the universal appeal of his words. Faith, hope, and love remain, and the greatest of these is love. So on Maundy Thursday, I join the King in wishing you all a very peaceful Easter.